Mabuhay Kamusika, welcome, and how are you? This is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. This is part 2 of Don't Try This at Home, Help for Harmony. We're going to balance out the negative things to avoid here with more positive things that I do for the good of my wife and our marriage that I want you to know about so that you can get off to a great start with your Filipina. And if you're interested, please subscribe to this channel. All I want to do is help men get married. You know, I married a Filipina. I want to share that experience with you. So hopefully you can have a good relationship too, because I just think marriage is the natural thing to do. It's what God created us, most people, to do. And, you know, I just want to help people any way I can. So to balance this out, let's talk about some positive things. Interests. In order to better connect with my wife, I show a genuine interest in some videos she watches on Facebook, such as the ones that help with organizing space or cooking or just funny videos, and they have some good ones over there. I also have become interested in the political scene in the Philippines, and I try to follow it on my own so I can talk to her about it. Her home is in Davao City. President Duterte was the mayor there for a long time, so she always tells me about him, so I try to keep an eye on what's going on there with him. And even I can tell you that President Duterte did not call former USA President Obama a bad name. I remember reading that quote, and I thought, well, I bet somebody's going to take this out of context because they don't understand him. In fact, not just that, but the way he said it, it was like an expletive that you would punctuate something with. I never thought he was directing that and calling Obama a name. I don't think there was any reason to do that. If we read what he said slowly and in context of the type of things he says, no, he was not calling Obama a name. And I know that because I'm more familiar with the Philippines than I had been before. So this quote was sensationalized by the international media, and by the way, so I've also endured shopping with her purses and shoes and so on. Sometimes she does this so she can, you know, sell to people back home or give to people back home, and I go along because she wants me there, and she finds it interesting enough to want me to be there. So is it a good thing for me to say, oh no, hon, that's boring, I'm not interested, I've got other things to do? You know, I should go if it's something that's that important to her. And that's just, you know, one example. If she wants to go to a show or go out and eat, those are things I should try to do as well. So being interested in the things that she is interested. If she shows me some videos of Filipinas singing or actors or whatever, I try to, you know, engage her in that and watch them and learn why she likes them. Now, encouragement. I try to be supportive in any way that comes up where it is needed. My wife had a tough experience at work a while back, and she told me she was glad that I was there for support when she needed it. And I've told her as much as possible I will defer to her wishes unless I am, you know, just not comfortable with it. So I want to do what pleases her, and I want to be supportive and encouraging of my wife. Along the lines of support, you know, I have been amenable to her working, and I'm thrilled we work at the same company and sometimes can take a break together or lunch together. And she's happy. I allowed her to work. You know, she always asks me, can I do this? Hon, can I do that? She asks me if it's okay if she sends her own money home. You know, if she wants to send money home to the Philippines that she earns. So we've got that system, you know, worked out now. Another way is when I told her she could go to school if she really wanted to. There's a community college a few miles away. She has a college degree from the Philippines. Now, paying for driving lessons for adults is another way I have supported her. But, you know, of course, I still had to go out and teach her, but I did pay for a class here, like 12 weeks, pay for a similar situation in the Philippines for her to get her off to a better start, be more comfortable learning to drive here in the U.S., which it's a lot more easy to learn to drive in. Compliments. I tell my wife often how smart she is, how good she is with gadgets, with fixing things. I'm not mechanically inclined at all, or good with computers, but my Amazing Aiza is. I compliment her on how neat and organized she is, how hard she works, that she has a good attitude at work, that she's a great wife, that I couldn't be happier with her. I tell her she is beautiful, a good lover, a good cook. I don't dwell in negative, but to be honest with you, it's kind of hard to find a lot of faults with her. She's not perfect. We have our moments, but we also recover from them and learn from these experiences. If you're telling her these things, that she's doing good, that's positive reinforcement, and she's likely to continue to do those things because she knows that you notice them and that it pleases you and you compliment her on them. I have many pet names for my wife, terms of endearment. I never call her by her name. It's more like Honey Bear, Beautiful, My Precious, Ping Ping, that comes from Viber. I won't explain. My Love, Sweetie, or Sweetheart. I call her this at work too. She calls me My Love a lot. And my dentist, who is my age, a woman, told me that she thought that was great that we called each other by these names. You know, this dentist commented after hearing my wife say that a few times. She said, that's great. It can get me in trouble sometimes, though. On Viber, sometimes I talk to somebody else. Sometimes it's a coworker. And there are times when I forget that I'm not on my wife's Viber anymore, and I think I am, but it's somebody else. The other day I said something like, Honey Bear, please make scrambled eggs for dinner tonight. I love you. And the response was, I prefer my eggs sunny side up. And I sent it to a coworker by mistake. It's not the first time I've done that. So sometimes it can be a little embarrassing if I send that note to the wrong person. So priorities. Prioritizing my wife could be listed above all these, but they are in no particular order. I tell her that her needs come before mine, and so do her interests and her wants. As her husband, I am to love her by giving up my life for her, according to Ephesians 5. And working on doing this hasn't cost me anything. She's my very best friend, and she should be able to tell anyone she knows that she believes that I am number one to her. The Bible talks about losing your life and finding it. Yes, there's probably been guys that said, well, I did everything for my wife, I put her first, and she utterly rejected me. Well, I hope that's not exactly, the case, unless, somebody marries the wrong person that they don't have much of a chance with. But if you marry somebody that wants to be married to you, wants to make a go of it, then putting her first is not going to cost you anything. You're going to have a much more rich, fulfilling, satisfying, wonderful life by being the servant leader of your wife than you will insisting on, going your own way or having things your own way or living like you were when you were single. Trust me, putting your wife's needs above your own is a very good thing for you too. Family, allowing her to help her family or deciding to help them together somehow is good for your relationship. Now, I say hello to her mama, and my wife interprets for me, and I ask for updates on how her family's doing because they're important to me. Tell her that you love her family, and even if she works, it's helpful to offer help, although she might not want you to. I've also told her that she can go to the Philippines whenever she feels like she needs to. Just last night we were talking to a shy little niece of hers, and check the time here. My wife told me how to say, I have a gift for you in Filipino. Don't think I could remember it now. I'm not really good at stringing those words together very well, but I am so much looking forward to seeing her family. It'll be the third time for me to see them. Each time they feel more like family, I feel more comfortable around them, and hopefully they will feel more comfortable around me too. Prayer. Pray together, and don't forget to thank God for her when you pray to God, and even when you pray with her. Pray about her needs for protection, for spiritual growth, for health, to be wise, to have direction in her life, and to be a mature Christian and and have mature Christian friends, and that she can be a good friend to others and help them mature. And these are just good qualities to pray for. Another one here, Maholkita, I love you. She needs to hear this often with actions that support it. I've made it a habit to kiss her before I even get out of bed, stroke her hair, her cheeks, rub her shoulders, tell her again that I love her. I tell her I love her even if we had a clash earlier. It may be harder to do, but I know I need to say that. It really doesn't matter how I feel, because love has nothing to do with how I feel. I love her because God commands me to, because he loved and loves me. And feelings happen when you determine that you are going to devote yourself to this person. There may not be feelings, strong feelings, when you get married. That's okay. But if you're loving each other properly, I do believe she's going to develop strong feelings for you. And you're going to develop those strong feelings for her when you have the right perspective going into it. So most of this is probably best for after you're married, but to some degree you will want to adopt this when you're in a serious relationship with a Filipina. When you begin a relationship with a Filipina, try to use simple, composed, clean, positive language. I'm just giving you some insights that you will find useful as you go about pursuing a wife from the Philippines, as I did. And I could not be happier with mine. Perfect? No. Perfect for me? Oo, which means yes. Probably my favorite Philippine word. O-O. It's spelled O-O, which means yes. I probably mispronounced even those two letters. But these efforts will help you have harmony with your love beyond the sea.